This is Danny from ENDER. I play drums. We're on the ENDER podcast.
We are.
Who are you?
Today, I am Sal from ENDER. I play guitar.
What do you any other day?
I'm a chameleon. I could do many things. Be many different things.
Word.
Yeah.
All right.
I wear many hats.
Many hats. Where do you get those hats from? Pat's hats?
Pat never wanted to go into business with me.
Pat is Casey's father, Patrick Conlon.
We had a great concept. If you ever meet Casey's dad, you know, he has this luxurious I don't even know if you're calling a mullet. It's not a mullet.
Not a mullet.
But he's got some long hair, and I figured we would have to capitalize on it and sell hats with the hair coming out the back of it. But it just never took off.
I feel like this is another idea that you've had that eventually you saw.
It would come. It's going to come out.
So essentially, hypothetically, you're a millionaire.
Somewhere in another life. I mean, they did come out with those hats. The caps with the tops cut off with the hair.
Yeah.
So somebody caught on. And
another one you had was Flexi Couch.
Flexi Couch, yeah. The couch you could buy, and you could either cut it up or maneuver it into a living space so it would fit your living room or wherever.
Stolen by Lovesack.
Done it. Somebody did it.
Fuck you, Lovesack.
And
send us some couches.
And the seasonal lights, the seasonal Christmas lights that you leave up all year long, and you could change it to any color scheme, season.
And I have those here in my apartment.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Missed opportunities. No. So let's talk about missed opportunities with ENDER.
Which time?
There's many.
With the microphone situation? Well, that's the only one that sticks out in my mind.
I'm sure Joe will come on here and elaborate on that, but
I was not there for this show or for that tour, unfortunately.
You were there that day.
Where?
It was a New York show, so you were here like by Palisades Mall, Cortland Manor Bar or whatever the fuck it was.
Where was I? I wasn't playing it.
You were there, bro.
For the whole microphone situation?
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
I don't,
so to give a little backstory,
I don't remember nothing.
We're playing on a tour with Destruction of a King, and I think it was the first or second day of the tour. We're playing some small bar, and around the Palisades Mall in New York, and it's fucking snowing. It's a winter storm because we didn't know to not tour during the winter.
Right.
So we're headlining the show, so we're playing last, and actually I don't even think Destruction of the King is playing that date, but we get to the venue, we watch the locals, and then we start setting up on stage. We're all good to go, and Joe's like, all right, where's the microphone? No microphone. This place had no backup microphone. What happened was the band before us stole the microphone. Mm-hmm. And there happened to be, we're not going to name drop, but there happened to be a booking agent scouting us at this show. Didn't work with us after because we didn't perform. We had no microphone. So, we learned about this fallout from Joe when he re-entered ENDER maybe a year ago. He's like, by the way, this is what happened, and it really sucks. So, missed opportunity because we could have been somewhere else right now instead of doing a podcast, maybe.
I mean, yeah, but this is cool too.
I'm happy. I'm home. I got Crocs on. I'm good. So,
if I would have known that the demise of this band, well, not demise, but
not
the successful future that we could have had was going to be determined by a missing microphone.
A missing microphone.
I don't know.
So maybe we should have still played. Joe should have just slaughtered to prevailed it.
Could have.
But we didn't know at the time.
No.
So it sucks, but maybe it happened for a reason. That's where I'm going to go with it. Like, this happened for a reason. Maybe we wouldn't have the lives we have today.
That's what they say.
Maybe you wouldn't have your children, who I fucking love.
True.
Maybe I wouldn't be in this apartment, which I love, have my animals that I love. So everything happens for a reason.
Right.
So that's how I take that. So we got to circle back. We have so much to talk about, especially with this guy. I don't even know where to start.
Let's go.
Whew, this is it's crazy because me and this guy have been, man, our friendship has evolved into to a family. 'Cause we're like brothers now. Sometimes it's easier for me to just tell people, yeah, I'm hanging out with my brother. So much easier. But how did we meet?
So we met in one grade in high school, I want to say. I'm not sure. I don't know if it was freshman year or sophomore year.
It must have been freshman because I was new to Elma Park. That was my first year.
So freshman year. Was it math class?
Oh yeah.
Was it Mr. Mitchell?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Mitchell.
Mr. Mitchell, math class. I had seen Danny, and I think we started just small conversations or whatever, and it ended up being one of those. Hey, I play guitar, and he's like, "Hey, I play drums." It was like, "So you want to come over?" And that was pretty much it. But the funny part of that is Danny didn't own a drum set.
Nope.
Until many, many years later.
Not many.
All right, so how many?
That year.
That year?
Because we played the talent show.
That was your kit?
It became my kit.
It became your kit.
My music teacher, Mrs. Trott, at the time, gifted me that kit.
Oh, Mrs. Trott, that's right.
When they got a new kit, she really believed in me. I love Miss Trott, and I wonder how she's doing. But she believed in me so much, and knew I was so passionate about the instrument that when she got a new kit, she gifted to me a green Tama Swing Star kit, as I can remember it. My first kit.
All I remember is you came over, and I would just be playing guitar, and you'd just be on the desk like, this is what I would do. And that's exactly how it happened.
And what was our band's name? Anathema or some shit like that?
We had a number of fantastic band names at the time.
We had websites.
What they weren't .coms. Like, what were they though?
cbg.net.
That's right.
Free shit.
Yeah, and then what did you use? Like the Facebook, not Facebook, MySpace profiles. Like you had a link or something.
I was AOL at the time.
AOL, like profiles. You just have the flames and the skulls.
Oh,
and stuff.
so cringe.
Yeah, so you worked with what we had,
So we had this vision from the beginning of being in a band and playing music together. And
I think once you get into a real consistent like a music flow of listening to bands and getting introduced to new bands, entering high school, I didn't know anything of Korn. I didn't know anything of System of a Down. Like I was introduced, not to whatever, but like I was listening to Will Smith, Spice Girls. I was listening to the Lion King soundtrack, for God's sakes. It's only until I met a friend of ours, his name is Jamie, in early high school.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Jamie a bunch on these.
He's big influence. We don't talk as much as we used to, and it's sad. But like he probably doesn't really realize how much of an impact he had on myself, as far as playing guitar, learning guitar.
Me as well, because that was the first time I played music with people.
Right.
So
to circle back to Jamie, like I didn't know anything of Korn. I met him just sitting in the auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down next to him, and he's like, I want you to make just casually, just like, hey, he's like, you like music? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, can you make it through this song without laughing? So I'm like, all right, sure. And I put it on. It was Korn. It was that Korn song that didn't have a name. It was from Life is Peachy. It was just like all the at symbol was like,
oh, cunt.
Yeah, is that what
it's
I think
called? That's essentially what that song was called.
And the first line was like, fuck you, ass. Like, I was like, ass licking, titties. Like, I was like,
oh, it's a good song.
And I was just like, what in the world is this? And that was my introduction to Korn. And
so you dove more into Korn after that?
Dove more into Korn. And, there was his sister at the time was very, very into all these bands. And she was part of street teams at the time.
Oh, my God.
If you remember what street teams were, you used to sign up and
send you a bunch of free shit.
Send you free shit, and they used to promote the band's cassettes and
I wish we had that.
So that's the same time I learned about Korn, I learned about Cold Chamber, Deftones, And that was pretty much the beginning of it all.
You know what's crazy? All those bands you mentioned are the main bands I listen to still today.
Yeah, they never die. They never die out. You know, it's nostalgic at this point.
Right.
So it's and it just evolved from there. Like, you know, Jamie actually got into the mix with both of us, and his dad had a band, and he had a practice space, and we all ended up going there, hanging out and jamming, and Undecided was born.
Well, before that, with Jamie, our first thing was the talent show.
Oh well,
it was your second talent show.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've never seen the footage of your first talent show.
And nobody will.
He would dangle the VHS in front of me like, this is it, but you're never going to see it.
Nobody will ever see
What is on this tape that I can't see 20 years later?
So on that tape is a very, very poor performance of Slipknot's Wait and Bleed at our school talent show, where we just pumped the song through the PA speaker, and me, not being a vocalist, actually attempted to sing Wait and Bleed.
Really?
We had masks, we had jumpsuits.
That's fucking cool.
But no instruments were played.
They were airing it.
They were airing it. Bass, guitar, drums. They weren't. It wasn't even hitting the cymbals or the drums or anything like that. It was just me singing over the track. And it was probably, you know, at the time, people just obviously cheered for this. You know, no, they're kids and we support the kids. But it was trash. It was trash.
Who was in this band?
Oh my God. It wasn't a band. It was just kids that listened to Slipknot. Like we didn't have a band. It was just me, a couple friends, and that was it.
Like anybody we went to school with?
The only one that would, I think Will was involved.
Big Will?
Big Will was involved.
Well, Lil Will wouldn't do that.
I think Big Will was involved. Another guy named Rob Krejci. Steve Wolinchek was on drums. And myself.
Damn.
It wasn't like the full lineup of Slipknot. We didn't have a sampler or anything. It was
so you didn't have 8 guys up on it?
No.
Okay. I'm thinking you got a whole slew of dudes on stage.
It wasn't anything like that. But it was, you know, it was fun for what it was, and
yeah,
it was the introduction.
Where's this tape at?
I to be honest with you, I don't even know.
I gotta go to mom and dad's.
No, I don't even think they have it. I don't even think they have it.
Guy, you would never let me watch that tape,
and you won't.
God damn it. So after that talent show, then we meet and then we get together. We wanted to start this band. It was called Undecided still, right?
Yep.
We're doing Undecided. So we get this high school talent show, and we what System of a Down song do we choose? Toxicity.
We did choose Toxicity. It was either Toxicity or what was it? Chop Suey. It was hot at the time, so we went with Toxicity, and. The musical performance was good.
Great.
It was great musical performance. We did not. Our singer issues started very, very early on.
Yeah.
In our musical career.
Yeah.
And we practiced the song going in, and like I said, we were good. And Danny said, I have this guy, I think his name was Mike, right?
Yeah.
I have this guy, knows the song. He's just going to, we didn't practice with him. He came to the show. He came there. But he never heard the song before. Never rehearsed the song. He didn't know, I don't even know if he knew who System of a Down was.
I don't think he did.
So we were like, what? Like, dude, like, what do we do? I was trying to get people to come up on stage. Like, you know the song you want to sing? Like, and nobody obviously was going to do it.
Yeah.
So luckily we had...
Well, there wasn't many people like us at high school at the time.
Right.
So...
I remember asking John Coliani.
Oh, yeah.
if he wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But he ended up... Luckily, I don't know how we got it. We had the lyrics.
Didn't matter.
Printed up.
Didn't matter.
And he had them on a music stand. And he was up there. And he gave it his best shot. But, like...
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't in sync how the actual song was.
Yeah.
And he was done singing before we were even done playing the song. He just read the lines, and that was it. He just stood there for the rest of the show.
I remember...
We got a good ovation, but...
Yeah, I mean, people wanted to be our friend after that, I think. But I remember halfway in the song, there's a drum. There's the drums are off. They're not playing. And I think I stood up and I was like, yeah, let's fucking go.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Did you ran out in front of there?
And we had these big UFO pants on and
Jenkos, baby.
fucking Jankos. But man, that was our first performance, right? For me, definitely was the first time we played as a band ever.
Right.
I don't even think I have a drum drone. I think I was playing on your little like 50-watt amp. That was an extra amp that I think you had.
Probably.
And I didn't have a drum drone. I didn't know what a fucking drum drone was. But so after that, we said we got to get serious here, right?
Yeah.
Serious here.
Serious here. We started then undecided. Then we started practicing more with Jamie and things like that of nature. I don't think shows were like in our minds at the time. Like, I don't think we really knew they existed per se.
Mm-hmm.
Up until a certain point where we did find out there were local shows and bands and things like that, where we actually went to a local show. For those who were around at the time, Froggy Entertainment was a huge promotion.
Yeah.
And they used to book in a town called Lodi at a VFW. And Rainey, we lost Rainey about
rest in peace
last year or so. She was great. Like she took care of the bands very well. She took care of the promotion very well. And we ended up going to a show, and we saw, who did we see that night? We saw The Downside. We saw Dan's band, Dan and Ted.
Well, I know we saw One Lump Sum.
One Lump Sum. So One Lump Sum sold it
Synthetic.
For me. Synthetic. It was Synthetic, Downside, and One Lump Sum. One Lump Sum
and
was...
the number 12 looks like you, believe it or not.
Man, you want to talk about... We'll talk about the Reckless 13 and all that, and Muir and all that at another point. But, like, that was the night that I feel clicked in our brains that, like, we are doing something wrong.
God, that was life-changing. Yeah.
And this is where we want to go. Like, this is the new direction. I said to him, I'm like, call Jamie. We're practicing tomorrow, and we're rolling. Jamie, unfortunately, didn't have the same, I guess, outlook on as performing live and things like that. But we did make an audition tape.
There's like about 3 songs, I think.
Yeah. And I think
we didn't know how to record. We just did a video. Yeah.
And I think it did make its way to Rainey. I think she wanted us to do it, but Jamie didn't really want to explore that side of the music, which is unfortunate. But like I said earlier, like, if Jamie really knew how much of an impact he played in us, and especially with myself, I think things would be a lot different.
Jamie and Brian.
Oh yeah, of course.
It was the 4 of us.
It's life evolves and people evolve, and and one day I feel like the circle will come back around, and we'll meet up again somewhere.
Yeah. I would love to record those songs. I could remember Crash and Burn.
Oh yeah, that's a simple 3-chord song. No problem.
Some Polacks never go skiing.
That's right. They never do. But
so yeah, we had Undecided, and we pushed that a little bit, and then what ultimately happened, I believe, was we met Vic.
You met Vic.
I met him, or did you meet him at Lil's? Deli?
You met him first, and then you brought the idea to me, like, hey, this guy that works at the deli, his name is Vic, has a band. You both, and he's looking for a second. I think they were just looking for a second guitar player at the time.
Yeah, they had a drummer.
They had a drummer at the time. So I think, I don't know, if we met up, we had a practice with them, and they liked you, they liked me, and it was just kind of like, these guys could work.
I would love to get Vic on here.
Hey, man,
absolutely would love to just have a talk with Vic and just shoot the shit.
Mush everybody.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's just another one of those things where people evolve, and time, lives change, and we'll all come back together at one point or another.
That's kind of what I want to do with this podcast is just bring everybody on.
Yeah.
Like, man, they don't realize how big of an influence they had on us.
No, absolutely. I don't think they do anyway. But
I don't know. Yeah,
just the way it came together, especially for us. Like, if you look at the bands we were in and the people that we were with, like, who of those people are still pushing?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got families, everybody's got jobs, everybody's got things going on.
For sure.
But like, of that time, like of the bands that we were involved in, who's really pushing? We're still here, baby.
We are.
Not to Craig Marshall is still kicking though.
Craig is still kicking.
Craig's my man.
I wouldn't want him to not be kicking.
No, because if he's not kicking, then there's a problem.
Oh, absolutely. That is a dude who hustles, and wow, what a musical brain Craig has, and always had.
Always had.
So
I owe my, I want to say my tightness, I guess, to him, because when I played in another band with him, the State of Revolution was a pop punk band. Well, it started as a punk band, but then he wanted to really change the scale of it. Mm-hmm. And it turned more into like a pop punk and stuff like that. And I played bass.
I played for
you did.
I was in for a little bit.
And you actually brought me in to play bass.
Go figure, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But just his demeanor on doing things over and over and over and over again. Not just songs, not just playing the songs over again, but parts. The way he dissected parts of songs,
mm-hmm.
segments, 2-second cymbal hits versus the bass versus the guitar. We're gonna keep doing it until it's right.
Yeah.
And playing bass for that band really, I think, zoned me in on, especially my rhythm parts of stuff. Like I don't do crazy leads, but like just my chunkiness and my rhythm keeping of the beats and stuff like that, like played a huge role.
He was very meticulous about things.
Yes.
And
yes.
he liked things. He had a vision and always saw it through.
Yes. He still does.
Yeah.
Still does.
And I think that's a big positive about a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Could also be a downfall, because then you're too obsessed with perfection.
Right. Nothing sounds right.
But man, this dude Craig, he can write his ass off.
Oh yeah, he's a songwriter.
Yeah.
You need something done quick. His turnaround is like no other.
Yeah, and he actually critiqued "Do the Rapture" for us, right? Yours truly.
He if you want to call it, produced it. Like
he kind of did, because we asked him,
yeah,
what do you think of this? And he said, "Oh, repeat this, do this,"
mm-hmm.
and we did, and we loved that song.
Yep.
To this day.
Yep. The changes, we kept it. Everything stayed the same.
Yeah.
After that. So, like I said, there's a lot of people that may not know.
Yeah.
How much hands they have in where we are today, but
and we never forget. We never forget our roots. That's the kind of people I know we and you are.
Mm-hmm.
We never forget where we came from, who helped shape us, who we are today.
Right.
Never forget that, because you can't.
No,
you can't.
I mean, I don't know where you want to go from here, but like you want to touch on.
Well,
bands.
you mentioned that you don't shred on guitar, right?
No,
You're not a shredder.
No.
You don't have to be a shredder to be a good guitar player, right?
No, I mean, so when we joined you both, obviously a lot of those songs were already written.
Mm-hmm.
I had written maybe 2 or 3 songs during the you both stage. When we transitioned to yours truly, like bands that were hot at the time, Killswitch Engage and Poison the Well and things like that. So you kind of gravitate towards things that you're listening to, and your writing style changes. These guys weren't like, doing sweeps and scales up and down the fretboards and stuff like that. And that's just kind of like what drew me in, like the rhythmic guitar versus the bass versus the kick drum versus everything. Just that pulls me in more than somebody doing, you know, a 2 or 3 minute solo. I mean,
Right.
not to discredit anybody that does that. You know, the musicianship now is crazy, especially like bands like Lorna Shore. You know, anybody that's doing stuff like that. You know, it's mind blowing.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's mind blowing. But when Ender formed, that was my, like, I almost had like this realization to like when writing the songs, like my attention span isn't that long, and I know probably 9 people out of 10 attention span isn't that very long. So I'm like, why don't we just make songs that we get in, give the people what they want to hear, and get out? And that was kind of the idea of just when Ender started to form, all the songs that were written, give the people what was hot. Breakdowns were hot, 2-steps were hot, whatever, you know, and that's what all the old kind of Ender stuff was built on. Just, you know, quick 2-step, quick breakdown, 2-step breakdown, and
Yeah, we tended to never like repeat parts,
Right.
For say.
and you want to fast forward to Descolada. Yeah, we matured obviously,
Absolutely, yeah.
but still, there's still elements there that we kept.
I think we wrote Bagul. We didn't realize how structured that song actually was, because you listen to it today, it's got parts that repeat that make the song like a hook,
Right.
like that beginning guitar intro repeats, and some of those parts repeat. Where I'm listening to it, I'm like, wow, I don't think we meant to do that. Where today we're meaning to do that, like, all right, we got a chorus, we got to repeat this because we got to hear it again.
I mean, it was a different time for writing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mentioned Poison the Well and like Autumn to Ashes.
Yeah, what bands, you know, you mentioned Korn and the whole new metal thing, which, you know, we love. But after those bands, what were the bands that got you into writing in that style? I mean, I know you go back as far as Pantera and Meshuggah that, you know, still influence you today. But like bands like that, like what bands after that new metal phase kind of got your attention?
Well, it was, you know, like I said, Poison the Well was big. Hello.
Oh, we got Cat number. Yeah, here he is again. He likes being on the podcast, so this is his thing, man. Like,
He's cool.
yeah, he's just making sure everything's good.
Yeah.
You know, okay. Just don't knock the camera down. That's all I ask, little cat.
Yes.
He's like, fuck you, man.
I give this cat a different name every time I come here.
Yeah.
I can't remember his real one.
What is his name today?
Topanga.
Topanga?
Yep.
It's all right. He's a male.
Answers to
But
Topanga.
it's all good.
It's all right.
I don't even call him by his real name. I never do.
What do you call him?
Cat,
Cat.
kitty,
Hello,
booger.
Cat. Booger.
Call him anything but his real name. Kenny.
See?
Bricks.
He's used to it, so.
Right.
Just, he's got his pull up.
Yeah, he is he's a character. I know every time you come here, he wants to, you know, he's sniffing up on your guitars, and
Yeah, that's all
he
right.
lays in your guitar cases. And
They're comfy. They're nice. I like to rub them.
Okay, well,
I would like to lay in it too if I
so
was
when
him.
you're home, you're just rubbing guitar cases.
Just rubbing my guitar case.
All right, well,
What's Sal doing tonight? I was probably rubbing his guitar case.
that's why you don't text me back.
That's it.
Oh,
See?
okay.
Now you got it. Figured it out.
Yeah, so Poison the Well, 18 bands like that.
Poison the Well was big. Killswitch Engage was big.
As I Lay Dying, I know is one of those bands.
When As I Lay Dying.
Oh my
came
god,
out,
when 94 Hours came out,
yeah,
I remember we're like, how the fuck do you do that on the drums?
That was it.
As a drummer, I've never heard drums like that before, but Mudvayne Dig, when Dig came out, I was like, oh my god,
That was how I felt when
that's impossible.
when I first heard Slipknot, and when Sick kicked in.
Yeah.
Like, dun, 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 dun. I was like, what the hell? It's like, that's got to be all 3 drummers doing the same thing at the same time. I'm like, that's impossible. I've never heard anything like that.
Man.
But yeah, like you had For the Fallen Dreams, My Children, My Bride, Attack Attack.
Yeah.
Not the first Attack like with Stick Stickly, like the second Attack.
Oh yeah, that with AC 130 on.
Yes,
it. Great
like
record.
That,
oh my god.
That I remember hearing that.
We were on tour, right?
In the van, and I was just like,
yeah,
like, what is this?
We were chilling in like a Burger King parking lot, and the record came out, and we went into Burger King because we needed Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
because we were sitting in that Burger King listening to Attack record. Oh man, that record is so good. AC 130 and just front to back, that album was like incredible.
So yeah, like bands like that, and then I got introduced to Impending Doom.
Yeah,
and Impending Doom was kind of like my band.
Yeah, you kind of stuck with that.
I kind of stuck with that writing style, and because that's what drew me in the most, and I still love Impending Doom to this day. I don't think there's a bad album that they've ever came out with. It just gets heavier and heavier. The progression that they've done.
But the thing with them, they keep everything simple still.
They do. Everything is still simple. Everything repeats.
Yeah.
The only thing that really changes, and you've told me this many times, and I still can't wrap my head around it, is like the riffs could stay the same.
Yeah.
But what changes it is the drums.
Right.
And they do it so well.
Yeah.
And I just can't bring myself to like comprehend it.
I've been telling him for years. Yeah, I'm like, listen, like you don't have to overthink the songwriting process. You got one riff, two riffs. That's all you really need, and you just change up the drums. You change the tempos and the beats, and it becomes something different. But yeah, Impending Doom is a great example of a band that does less, but it's more.
It's more.
A less is more band.
Yep.
I wish we could call our band our genre less is more.
Less is more.
Core.
Less is more core. There it is.
Less is more core.
That's what I like it. I like it. See?
And another band, that really influenced the early writing on Ender songs was Amir.
Yes.
Yeah, and I remember we were in Yours Truly, and Goodbye to the Gallows record came out, like 2008. That really shifted our thoughts on what we wanted our band to sound like.
Correct. I know we get I don't know if any we do anymore, but I know back then we got compared.
Oh, we absolutely do not get compared to.
We got compared to Amir a lot.
Yeah.
Was there similarities? Maybe, but I don't think there was enough to be like these guys are ripping off Amir.
Yeah, we'll get into all that Ender hate.
Yeah,
eventually.
That's an episode by itself.
Oh, that's a whole episode.
But yeah, I mean Amir, and then the Acacia Strain, and it's I don't know. We were on that tour when we caught up with the Summer Slaughter tour.
Oh, it was the yeah
Summer Slaughter tour.
Thrash and Burn
tour. And My Children and My Bride was on that show, and Veil Maya was on that show, and
Dude, Periphery opened the
Periphery
tour.
was on, and it was just like, God damn, like
Oceano, For the Fallen Dreams,
and just like just how like things present themselves to you. Like we were on tour, we didn't know. I was playing I was up there in basketball shorts,
right,
and a t-shirt. I'm like, and you see all these other bands, like they're put together. They're all in black, which isn't obviously original. Metallica's been doing that for years. I was just like, we have to get more on a professional scale.
Yeah.
And I think we actually went to a Walmart. I'm like, everybody's buying jeans and everybody's buying tank tops, and we made the switch mid-tour.
Yeah, we did. And I remember Casey, when you first put that first pair of black pants on, I think changed Casey how he felt about you.
He did. I mean, he loved me in those jeans.
He said you look hot. Word for word, he said you look hot in those jeans.
That's why I still wear all black around them, as you could tell.
But yeah,
like it's just
we kept evolving,
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes it you have to open your eyes, and then things come to you at the weirdest times, and that was one of them. That was definitely one of them.
So I don't think you realize how important, like we did that first tour where we caught up on Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Caught up on the Thrashers Burn. We didn't play these gigs, but like we observed.
Yes.
A lot.
Very much so.
And handing out CDs, like Casey mentioned, he hands out CDs. It was so vital to be at those shows, handing our CD out, because we made the connections that we did that
Right.
helped us, especially with the guys in the mirror at the time with Frankie. I handed the guys a CD, and they were very like, wow, a CD. And then, we formed a relationship with a lot of these people on these tours. And I just think the hustle never ends. If you're not playing a show, you go to the show, you promote your ass off, and it really, really helps.
I agree.
And so Thrash and Burn was what a lineup that was, dude. Holy shit.
Just being there was, I mean, obviously we didn't play, but like, just being there was an experience, obviously.
Yeah. It helped us because we're like, how do we be professionals? Because we didn't know.
No, we were kids. We were
Yeah.
still kids at the time, and we were still getting our feet wet. We were wet behind the ears, and it's like, oh, what are these people doing that we need to do to make us seem a little bit more intriguing?
Yeah.
And that's always the case. You're always looking to see what other people are doing, and not necessarily to like rip them off, but like to add into your life and to your musical stuff. And it's like one of those simple changes of just changing your clothes and being in unison, doing the Running Man or headbanging. It changes the dynamic of the show, because I don't think if we did that, we wouldn't have had some of the most violent and some of the most energetic shows that we've had, to where people were being thrown over bars and stuff.
Yeah. So when you take yourself a little serious, the crowd
does.
the fans,
of course,
take you a little serious.
You give them, they give back to you. I totally 100% agree with that. And if you're a band, unless you're a band like Meshuggah, now, where the music obviously speaks for itself.
Oh man.
And you have a light show that is just phenomenal.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything.
You can wear whatever you want.
You can wear whatever you want. I mean, they transitioned into all black as well.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. They used to wear hockey jerseys.
Hockey jerseys, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And denim shorts. Cargo shorts, it wasn't anything spectacular, but like the evolution of everything.
Yeah.
You're making a statement. It's a brand. It's marketing. You're marketing yourself. You're marketing your band.
Yeah.
So if you're not taking your band seriously, why should anybody else?
Absolutely, I agree.
So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. So we form ENDER. Man, I can't believe everything happened so fast when we formed ENDER.
It did.
How did you feel when I called you guys? Because we had a lot of text messaging at the time. And I was like, listen, we got a bite on a record label right here. Mm-hmm. We had a couple, actually. We had Victory Records that was very interested. Eulogy Recordings, which we ultimately went with. How did you perceive that? How did you think that would shape you, being a signed band?
How did it shape me personally? Or
Yeah,
as the band?
Both.
Well, obviously that's the dream.
Right.
That's the dream when you start a band, at least it was at the time, to get a record label and go on tour and get the the attention and the resignation. Is that the right word? Recognition. There it is. Resinition.
We create words on this show. Resinition.
It felt good. And obviously, when you get that type of attention and that look at your band, it's like you've made it.
Yeah.
You've essentially made it.
Like somebody gives a shit about us rather than us?
Right. Somebody gives a shit, and they're willing to put that much behind you.
Yeah.
They're willing to front money. They're willing to front time. They're willing to front, assets, everything, just to put you on the right path to where you need to go.
Yeah.
Did it light a fire under my ass even more? Absolutely.
We were under a microscope, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just it lit a fire because being signed, you know, you're essentially I don't want to say targeted isn't the right
Well, like
term.
I said, you're under a microscope, so there's certain expectations that come with the
Right.
label aspect. Like, oh, this band is signed. Why?
Right.
Why are they signed?
Right. So it's just unfortunate that the timing of it was wrong.
How so?
I feel because we're just coming off our own tour, the tour that you put together on your own.
Yeah.
And you know, we had a record. I don't think we had enough time. I don't think we were given enough time to really push, to really get more of a following than we had.
So, like, you think we should have did more of a grind?
Yes, I think we should have did more before than actually taking on such a responsibility to a record label.
I could agree with that. Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, they did for us what they could, and we did for them what we could.
Yeah.
You know, just things didn't work out as obviously we wanted them to. But that's fine. And that's fine. You know, there was no burnt bridges or anything like that.
No.
And it's fine. It's fine how it worked out. I could say that I was signed to a record label. I could say that my music has been heard around this world. Right? We've been
Oh my god, so many countries. If you look at Spotify numbers and stuff, it's like
I could say my CD was in stores, multiple stores.
Oh man.
My shirt was in Hot Topic.
Did you see I reposted the other day on Instagram Corey from Face Yourself with a fucking Ender CD?
I saw that. I did see that.
He hit me up like a couple weeks ago. He was like, dude,
Where did he find it?
well, he lives in Colorado, so there's like a record store out there, and he's like, dude, there's a fucking Ender
Still
CD.
in Colorado.
In Colorado.
Made it all the way out there.
And he's like, I'm gonna go back and buy it.
Somebody probably like sold it to the record store for like $5.
Here, I'll trade you this for a bag of chips.
But that's what I mean. Like looking back at it, it's just like, you know, we've done things. You know, do we have the money to show for it?
No.
No. Do we have the house to show for it? No. Or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I could say, if this band ended tomorrow, I could say that I'm okay with the accomplishments that we've done.
I think it made us the humans we are.
Absolutely.
Like, I take a lot of life lessons from being in a band. Man, the memories I'll never forget. It left a mark on my life, and I think now we're doing it. I don't know about you, but more of a legacy of Ender, which I never wanted to end Ender. Well, that's funny, end Ender, because you see so many bands breaking up, and then they're forming other bands. Why for you do you keep doing Ender? Why not say, like, when we had these new songs, fuck Ender, let's create a new band?
Because it's not just 5 guys. It's, you know, Danny had mentioned earlier that, you know, he doesn't pertain to me as a friend, as it's a brother aspect.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what it is. It's not 5 guys or 5 friends that are just hanging out and making music. It's a family aspect. It turns after so many years and so much drama and so many fights, so many falling outs and making up, it becomes a family element, and you don't really want to do it with anybody else.
Right.
Sure, it's easy. It's easy to just say, you know what, screw you guys. I'm going to find some other dudes to play music with.
Yeah.
And you probably could. But there'll always be that aspect of like, damn, like, I miss Danny, or I miss Mark, or Casey, or Joe. Like, I miss making music with them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have that miss.
I know.
I don't want to have that miss. I'm comfortable. We're comfortable. We work well with each other, I think. And I think we put out quality music. Not to toot the horn, but I think we put out quality music.
Yeah.
As a band, and not to toot the horn, but I listen to us.
We're allowed to
frequently.
toot the horn on our own show.
Okay, well, I listen to us. I listen to us very, very frequently, and I think, and that's something else. Like I think if you can't listen to your own band,
Yeah.
and enjoy it,
Who's gonna? Yeah.
Like, how do you expect somebody else to? If you can't listen to it, be like, you know what, this slaps.
Yeah.
And I do. I think we slap it.
Fuck yeah.
Sorry, but I think so.
There's no sorry, no being sorry on this. This is our fucking podcast, our fucking show.
I mean, this is Revenge, the first album. Can we have done things differently? Sure. Descolada, can we have done things differently? Sure.
Well, listen, you mentioned like being in a record store.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of bands that could come out today can ever say that.
No.
Because,
well, yeah, I mean,
as we speak, stores like Best Buy, Target, they're taking physical media out.
Right.
So when we were touring, I know we had some time off, or we go to a Walmart, we go to a mall and look for our CD, and we'd find it every time.
Sam Goody.
Every fucking time at FYE, we'd find our CD there.
It was there.
And wow, what a feeling.
Oh, yeah, it's an
what a feeling.
It's an awesome feeling. It's an awesome feeling.
And we had a fucking T-shirt and Hot Topic. Come on, dude.
Like I said, if it ended tomorrow, I could look back and be like, hey, we did everything I Want to Feel a multi-million-dollar band did.
So I don't know about you.
So I make the money.
But there's times where not even you guys know, but I've quit on my own.
On your own?
You guys don't even know. I'm just like, yeah, I'm done with it. Like, whatever.
Right.
Have you ever had a moment or moments where you felt the same way, where you were like, I don't give a fuck, like, it's done, I don't really care? Like, have you ever quit without anybody else knowing? Because I know, even from the Yours Truly days, I would always talk you off a ledge from quitting.
Right.
Always. You always were trying to quit, and I said, no, you're not. I'm not letting you quit.
No, I mean, not on my own, like in my house. Like,
right.
You know what? Screw these guys.
Yes.
No, I don't think it's ever been like that. I mean, obviously, I've quit in heated moments.
I quit on tour.
Well, yeah.
So
I wasn't there for that.
Yeah.
And if I was, I would have talked you out of there, or at least I would have tried to. But yeah, only heated moments. I think where you don't agree on the same musical influence or the same song ideas or whatever, like stupid shit.
Yeah, you're referring to when you tossed your guitar across the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the most generic riffs in the world.
Yeah,
became one of our top songs.
Not to get off topic, but I want on one episode you and Casey sitting down here talking to each other.
It's going to be like Biden versus Trump if you have us.
And I'm not going to be on that episode. I'm going to be sitting on the couch with Ultimate Warrior over there.
It's going to be like a debate.
And I'm just going to fucking chill, and that's it. But you have quit on your own, and in your mind, you have taken yourself out of the band.
I mean, obviously for other reasons, not because of I didn't want to do music or play or anything like that. It was just more of life situations. I had to put my life together in other areas. Having kids and getting married and all that stuff.
Oh, we're gonna get into that too, because that's yeah.
So you have to you can't spread yourself too thin. You have to either remove yourself to really, I mean, at least I have to remove myself from one aspect to push myself in another, and then you come back to it. Like I said, everything's a circle. Yeah, Danny.
It's not like a rectangle that has four sides.
Bunch of sides,
Oh, like a circle.
Like a circle.
Hey.
Yeah. So everything's a circle.
Yeah.
And it comes around and around and again.
It does.
Did I know that when I walked off the Starland stage for my last show that I would be doing this again?
No.
Probably not. I thought that would have been it.
So that was like the pinnacle moment where you're like, where else do I go from here? Like, I'm good with saying, you know what? hang the guitar up.
Yeah,
I'm
I
done.
was. I had I had come to terms with myself that what I did musically is enough, and I'm going to take my life and do, build it in another aspect.
So what made you feel like, you know what, maybe I'm not done?
The void.
Yeah.
The void of not doing it. Like I've tried to fill that void with the Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
That I'll probably eventually talk about as well.
Hell yeah.
But nothing fills the void of creating something that makes other people feel a certain way. Music obviously is very subjective. Our songs resonate to many different people in many different ways, as all music does. One person could hear a song and interpret it very much differently than somebody else could. Mm-hmm. And I know we've had fans from the very beginning that I still follow and I still talk to on not a regular basis, but every now and then they pop up. And when I post something new or something like that, they're like, "Oh man, like these songs, I love these songs. I like this does so much for me in the gym, like stuff like that. Like creating something that makes somebody else have an emotion.
Yeah.
I mean that's all of it right there. So just missing that aspect, I needed back.
Right.
That's really what pushes it forward now.
Yeah.
Creating something that other people will go like, this makes me feel something. This makes me get to work. This makes me go to the gym. This makes me get through my day. Little things like that.
Yeah.
That's it.
For sure. And I know there's many points of time where, the band wasn't. We'd hang out. We wouldn't even discuss the band because the band, it's kind of had plenty of hiatuses. Unspoken hiatuses. Not even like there's bands that post like, "Oh, we're on a break, we're on a hiatus." We never did that. We always just let it flow how it would.
Right.
So there could be months, even maybe years, I'd say, where we're just dudes hanging out, not even talking about the band. Just a lot of other shit going on, and I think that shows how deep a friendship all five of us do have. Like, we've been to each other's weddings. Well, you're the only... Yeah, we've been to each other's weddings, Mark and you. And it just goes so much further beyond the band, further beyond Ender, that keeps me going, at least, to do this band.
Right.
It leaves a legacy, and I want to tell my kids, whenever I have kids, like, yeah, this is Uncle Sal, this is Uncle Mark. We were cool. We think we were cool. Playing in a band when we were younger.
Still cool, Danny.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But it's I don't know, like I don't think I'd have it any other way. Like, signed or not signed, I think we still have that bond. The five of us.
Yeah, I don't think the label has anything to do with it.
No.
Now it's obviously just more for fun.
Right. Yeah, now it's for fun. Yeah.
It takes the stress out of it. Takes all the other elements out of it.
Yeah.
Out of the equation. And when you're playing shows, you want more. You get it, and you want more. I didn't think it was going to happen, but after every show, I wanted just a little bit more.
It is true because, Joe returned back to Ender a little over a year ago. And we have our first show at Debonair Music Hall, and we had a meeting, and we're like, listen, let's just do like this one show, and then we'll play another year. Wait, so when you got off the stage at that show, what is it that you said to me that night?
It's like, book another show.
Book another show. Let's go.
It's not that easy.
Yeah,
it's not that easy. It's like a drug.
Right.
It's not like you got a taste of it, and now you're relapsing. You just want more of it, and we got more of it for sure. You booked a hell of a lot of shows.
I didn't book. We booked 2 shows last year, And we just played our first show this year, maybe a couple weeks ago.
Right. We got a lot coming up.
Got a lot coming up. A lot to us. Like
Well, yeah.
one show last year was a lot to us. So, so you're excited to be back playing shows more than you thought you'd be.
Absolutely.
You are. What are some of the places that you want to play again?
Again?
Again.
Well, obviously, Debonair Music Hall is
Kind of a staple for us
kind
now.
of a staple now, which I'll always enjoy playing there.
Yeah.
QXTs, I'd love to play back there again.
Oh, yeah.
What's the new place that opened?
Williams Center.
The Williams Center. I look very much forward to playing there.
Okay.
Eric has done some fantastic things.
Eric and the crew over there are
Yeah.
definitely good.
You know, I can't wait to get in there and see what that's all about.
Mm-hmm. You want to play Starland again?
Starland's iffy for me.
Iffy.
It's iffy. I mean, it's Starland Ballroom. I get it, but like,
Right.
it's iffy. I don't know. I don't get the same energy. I don't know if it's like.
Well, yeah, you're coming. We're talking to a guy here who wants to play 50 cap bar in Elmwood Park.
I do.
Called Boulevard.
I do.
He's dying to get in there,
I
and
do.
it's like mind blowing to me.
I do.
So most people are gonna do it.
It's
Obviously.
intimate.
Yeah.
It's intimate. I like more.
I'll fucking give you intimate, bro. I mean, come on.
Hey, you relax. I just feel that show would be a banger.
We haven't had a floor show in a long time.
Because they shut them all down.
Honestly, there is not a lot of floor shows.
You know where I would like to play?
Where?
I don't know if it would even be allowed. Just Jake's.
I've been trying to get my other band there.
Yeah.
Like, Freak, there's the cover band.
Mm-hmm.
So, no response for that band.
Really?
But I would love to play there.
Just Jake seems like is pretty awesome.
Well, cousin Gianna has one over us now.
She got more shows than I do over there.
Yeah.
Damn, good for
That
her.
place is awesome.
It is. But that's the one place I would like to get into as well.
Well, that's definitely not for Ender. I'll tell you that much.
The Wellmont seems nice.
Yeah, good luck with that, bud.
Stone Pony.
We played there.
We did play there, but like
Play there.
not as Ender.
Not as Ender, but more than other bands can say. Because not a lot of local bands
Twice,
can play
right?
the Stone Pony.
Played there twice. Did we not?
Once.
Just once?
Yeah. It was the Battle of the Bands.
That's right.
And then the special guest was the Sleeping, which was crazy. Because I had a relationship with the Sleeping from being in Royden.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, the Sleeping.
That was that band with the rabbit, right? That
Yeah.
rabbit logo? That was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
really good band. But we played the Stone Pony, which is dope.
Could say that too?
Not a lot of bands can say they played Stone Pony, like local bands, and it's hard to get into these places. Even Starland, hard to get into Starland Ballroom.
CBGBs, we missed it.
Yeah, that sucks. We played Lemore's in New York
We
City,
did play the Morris. Oh, man.
right? Oh my god!
You want to talk about bands
Club Lemore?
that came out of that show?
Oh man, the Valentine.
Transgression.
What they were Transgression at the time, yeah. That band changed a lot for us as well, because I think that was before we even heard of Poison the Well.
Right. No, we heard of Poison the Well.
Oh, we were.
Yeah.
We were fans of Poison the Well
We were
already,
a fan
but
of
we
Poison.
never saw
We've
another
never saw
band.
another band
Right.
do it. And seeing that band go on, just the flair,
Yeah.
the move, they moved like the band should. They sounded like a band should.
Yeah.
It was just amazing to see, and we were in awe.
Even when we opened their CD, it was clear.
It was clear, which is like skulls and stuff on it.
I think you probably still have it.
I have a lot of these CDs.
Yeah.
I have a lot of these CDs. But even that band, like even the band they transitioned to, the Valentine,
Yeah.
was amazing. And then the band that transitioned to into that, Pages, was amazing.
And Adam from that band, he went out to play in Across 5 Aprils, which is a great band.
Like, I don't know if Jose will ever hear this. If he does,
Oh, he will. I still talk to him.
Yeah, I know you
Yeah.
still talk to him,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like Pages was an amazing band.
Oh yeah.
Amazing band.
Need those songs on Spotify like yesterday.
Yeah.
Because they're not on Spotify, and I wish. But when I listen to Pages, it's on YouTube.
So many bands. So many bands I wish
Yeah.
were on Spotify that we played with back in the day. Like, God, so many. Silhouette of a Soldier.
Anger of the Lamb.
I still have their CDs. Anger of the Lamb.
Man, oh man.
Who else?
What was your favorite local band when we were in U-Both?
You both?
Yeah.
God. I mean, obviously it was Anger of the Lamb.
Well, they were like the band.
They were the band.
Besides the Downside.
The Downside and with the Hollywood Kills they transitioned to, right? Hollywood Kills.
Like when we played a show at the Downside, like they rolled up in a school bus.
That was awesome.
Full of people.
That was awesome.
And oh man, they were so cool. They had like a gimmick which we didn't know. Like a local band can have a gimmick.
Yeah. And
they rolled up and they were fucking awesome, dude.
They were good. Trudge was good.
Trudge, Tober.
What's that other Halloween band? Not Halloween. Late October. One of the bands that really inspired us because we saw them at a Froggy show was One Lump Sum. Yeah, we talked about them earlier. It was just it was a different kind of heavy. Yeah. The way they delivered the product was just I can't believe some of these bands just didn't get more.
Oh yeah.
Out of what they were doing. And it's astounding to me. Like there's a band like Deny the Myth.
Oh my God, I forgot about that band.
They had such a sound to them. It was kind of like a mixture of like Typo Negative and just like, you know, it was just laid back kind of like groovy stuff, and it was the guy's voice was amazing for a local band. And Mea Culpa,
bro.
Like, yeah. Come on.
That dude bands. Would vomit on stage, remember?
Sal, like, he had a great range. And these bands just they never saw anything out of the local scene, which is sad.
Yeah.
And you know, there was one show when we played. Oh, obviously, you remember it, and I remember it to this day. If I was a record owner or record company owner, so there was a show we played it as Yours Truly, and I think it was VFW Hall. I'm not sure. It was like to Columbus or something like that. And there was a group of school kids. Never seen them before, never heard of them before. You probably know where I'm going with this.
Not sure yet.
All right, we're going. Yeah. We're on the way.
Yeah.
And they start to play. And my attention span doesn't really, like, I try to watch all the bands. And I try to, you know, support as best as I can. But there's something with this band that I was just locked on. I think it was the guitar player. He had an Epiphone SG Red. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, Gibson. It was a Gibson SG. And I was like, how is he gonna play that? How is he gonna play metal?
Man, I really don't know where you're going.
How is he gonna play?
I'm so invested
because
right
like
now.
because at the time, like, I was, you know, metal. I play metal. I play Ibanez only, and that's it. So this guy a kid, no older than 15, 16 years old, rolls up with a Gibson SG. I'm like, what the hell is this kid gonna play? Metal. So whatever. And they start playing. And my attention goes immediately to this band, and I was just in awe of this band. The band is John Hinckley.
Oh! I would not have guessed it. But now it brings back so many memories, yeah.
This band, the originality, the deliverance of the product, the demeanor that these kids had at teenager age, the energy was out of this world.
Yeah, it was really good.
And I still have it on my iPod. And every time I charge my iPod,
you got the charger iPod.
That's funny to say, isn't it? I put it on. Just as a nostalgic thing.
Remember their song Wires?
Yeah. And the Octopus. Like, I remember these, like
where are these guys today?
Like, they could be in bands that we don't even know about.
They've got to be adults.
I mean, they got to be.
Because we're old, so.
But like bands like that, man, like I cannot believe to sit here and be like, we achieved these things. You know, our CDs in stores, shirts, Hot Topic,
Right.
you know, whatever. Like, got signed to a label. It's hard to imagine that the bands that we've played with, some of these bands, didn't amount to the same type of success.
Yeah, you kind of wonder why.
Yeah.
Or what happened.
Like, we're not doing we haven't done anything that's remotely that extravagant.
No, yeah.
I know the ongoing joke is if you smoke weed with the right people, that kind of gets you in.
Yeah.
But like to think back and to listen back,
Yeah.
on some of these bands, and to even listen back to like, obviously the recordings weren't all that fantastic. So if the recordings aren't all that great, but the band is still great,
Yeah.
They have to be really friggin' good bands. I think.
Does that matter to you if a band is really good, the material they write is awesome, but the quality sucks? The quality of the recording?
No.
Doesn't matter to you?
No. Because it didn't matter to me then.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me now either. Like I could throw in a CD from 1999,
Right.
you know, from a recording in some kid's basement.
Yeah.
But if the band was amazing, like who cares what the friggin' recording sounded like?
Yeah.
In my opinion,
No, it makes sense. I know a lot of people.
the band made the recording good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It makes sense. I mean, I'm a little different in that aspect. Like even This Is Revenge. Like I change any song that comes on from that record on
Right.
shuffle, just because like the quality is not up to par, and I know that's not what we really sound like anymore.
That could be us though.
Right.
Like obviously we would go back and we would change tempos and
Yeah.
and add things, and maybe that's just an us thing. Maybe some other kid in, I don't know,
Exactly.
Texas is like, this is freaking amazing.
Well, I mean, let's look at fucking Metallica's Saint Anger.
Well,
You know what I mean?
from a musician's standpoint,
Yeah.
just from a drummer standpoint.
Well, the fucking snare drum sounds, I don't know if Sean Crahan from Slipknot was playing on that record, but it's unique, but what were they thinking?
I think they were desperate.
Desperate? They're fucking Metallica.
No, I know, but like I think
What do you got to be desperate about?
I think they were desperate because they haven't put out a record in X amount of years, and the music industry has changed. Like all these new bands are coming out, and they were trying to be one within the mix. They were trying to go with what was out.
Yeah.
And I think they tried a little too hard.
Oh, yeah. I think they tuned the snare drum a little too hard, too.
I think they just would have, like, I mean,
I think they farted on their snare drum.
a band like Metallica, like I don't think you got to do anything. Just
They shouldn't change. Just like Meshuggah as well. They shouldn't change. Just keep on par what they're doing.
But see, like Meshuggah don't miss.
No, they never do.
Meshuggah does not. Meshuggah has evolved themselves.
I wonder if they ever tried to be like, let's put a bad record out. And they're like, it's popular. We can't.
Meshuggah's problem. Okay, they only have one.
They have a problem?
They only have one problem.
Meshuggah has a problem.
They only have one problem, and it's a good problem. They just have to figure out how to keep on getting heavier, and they do.
Oh, that's true. Wow.
And they do.
I never thought of that, man.
How can we make the next record heavier than the last?
Fuck me. I never thought of that.
I mean, what do you do now? You get 9-string guitars?
Why is my fucking door uneven on this side? You see it? The brim on top?
The brim or the trim?
The somewhat of rim. See the top there? It's like off.
Yes.
But on the other side, it's perfect.
Oh, like that.
What the fuck? What kind of Pollock put this house together?
You said it, not me.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine me and Meshuggah and be like, how can we be heavier?
I said that's a good problem to have.
Yeah. But they do.
They seem to do it every single time. They don't put out a bad record. And they haven't. At least, maybe I'm just a super fan. I don't know. Like, you think Corbin put out a bad record?
Absolutely.
Which one?
The dubstep album.
Yeah.
The Path of Totality was, I don't know. I can't even name a song on that record. It was the one they did with Skrillex.
Well, like, was that a real album or was it like a concept album?
That was a real album.
Yeah?
Yeah. Another whatever album they released that did not have Head on was not a good record.
It's
in my
amazing, isn't it?
opinion.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Once he came back to Korn, they became Korn again.
It's amazing how that works.
But even like today, like they don't have Fieldy, and you could tell the difference.
Have they released a CD without him yet?
Yeah.
They have?
Yeah.
You don't even record?
Was that?
Feely can't even record?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know the backstory because I don't think anything's been said. But I hope it's not like drugs and alcohol thing. But because I know they're very like mature now, and they have the bass player from Suicidal Tendencies now. I think his name's Rob. He's really fucking good.
Wasn't Rob didn't Rob Zilla play for Suicidal Tendencies?
No, Ra.
Oh, Ra.
R-A, Ra.
Didn't Rob from Metallica play for Suicidal Tendencies too?
His son.
Oh.
Rob, the you talking about the bass player from Metallica?
Yeah.
Yeah, his son plays bass.
But who
sometimes.
Did Rob play for? I knew he was in Ozzy's band. He was with Ozzy for a while.
Ah, man, I don't know. Because you think of Rob, whatever his name is.
I don't even.
You think of the Rob from Metallica. You don't think of him from any other band. I just think of him from Metallica.
I think he was in Suicidal Tendencies.
You might be right. Maybe that's why they let his son play bass in Suicidal Tendencies.
Maybe. I never got into them.
Suicidal. Yeah. I think it was a different generation. Yeah. We grew up in we had Motley Crue. And, you had a dad, so that's really cool to show you music. That's awesome. I never had that, unfortunately. But, you had your dad who's very into rock and metal. Mm-hmm. And, I can only imagine he kind of influenced you as not just a guitar player, but just a fan of music.
Oh, yeah.
And, he kind of brought you into the mold of things.
Yeah, it started... started very early on. My dad had suitcases of, I guess that's how they did it back in the 70s or however long it was. Like they used to have, looked like suitcases. It was carrying cases and had all cassettes, rows and rows of cassettes.
Damn, I wish I had a dad that had that. That's crazy.
You didn't need a dad to have that.
How is having a dad? It's cool.
Yeah, you have a good dad.
Gotta get me one of those.
You have a dad.
He's out there.
Yeah. I've seen him.
Yeah, you're a big fan of my father, actually.
I love art.
So I will eventually, on one episode, get into the whole history of, me and my father's relationship. But so your dad got you into music.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Like it was just there, and I was a Snoopy kid. I used to snoop around stuff, and I found all this stuff. And
did you ever find your dad's porn when you were younger?
Yes, Debbie Does Dallas.
Oh, it's a good one.
That was a classic.
Is that when she does like 500 guys or something?
No.
Oh.
No.
Is Dallas a guy?
No, Dallas.
Then I didn't watch the right one. I must have watched the remastered version.
So the concept of the movie was Debbie. Debbie gets to go to be a Dallas cheerleader.
That sounds just like your dad.
I think that's the concept. But the whole team was trying to raise money to go with her. The whole cheering team was trying to raise money to go with her. So they were doing fucking sexual acts for money just to raise money to go.
Damn.
And then at the end, her boss that she worked in the hardware store with, or the sports store with, offered to pay for her and the whole team to go every year.
Was that on VHS?
That was on VHS, yes.
Man, I remember we were walking in Old Park one day and we found a porn tape on the train tracks. That was a pretty good tape.
I don't know where any of those tapes are now. Gone.
I have, not the porn, but I have the undecided tapes somewhere around here.
I'd love to watch those.
Dude, I think it has that talent show we talked about earlier.
I'd love to watch those.
Well, I gotta get a VHS.
Gotta get a VHS. Gotta rent the VHS.
Oh my god. Oh my god, we got so off topic what we were talking about.
I think I have a VHS. I have a VHS at my parents' house.
I believe that.
What are we talking about?
Your dad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the suitcases versus with all the tapes in it.
Yeah.
He had Pink Floyd and Deep Purple, all those Black Sabbath and
Yeah.
Whatever. It wasn't until I got into like his CD collection, because I wasn't really listening to the cassettes at the time. But it was only until I got into his CD collection where, and I tell this story on every occasion that I can. There was a CD in the back, well, the whole collection, and it was a picture of a guy getting punched in the face. And for those that know, that's Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power album, and that's kind of where.
What a record!
That's where everything kind of started and stemmed from.
Yeah.
And I after I listened to that record back to front to back,
to front.
We're
listening to Pantera records, the last track all the way to the
front to back
first
to
track.
Shit.
Shit.
I went. Pantera had only this is mid '90s.
So you're a come from behind kind of guy. All right, cool.
All different angles. So this is like the mid '90s. And maybe like 92, 93. And Pantera had only been out for a couple years.
Yeah.
So they really only had Cowboys from Hell, the Vulgar Display of Power, and eventually I found Strength Beyond Strength album. No, Far Beyond Driven. Sorry. Far Beyond
Strength Beyond Strength is our next album.
Yeah, Strength Beyond. The name of the song. And it was Far Beyond Driven was their third album. And I got those, and I did not stop listening to Pantera.
Damn.
For a long time.
What a perk of having a dad, man.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that's awesome.
But then there's all other elements. My dad's he's very big blues fan. Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he made me watch these DVDs and cassettes and of just this guy playing guitar, no vocals, just ripping it up on guitar, blues guitar player, and
yeah, he's dope.
I was like, I don't want to play that.
Yeah, and you don't today.
But it's still you're just watching the TV like,
yeah,
oh my god,
like, and all of what he could do.
So yeah, having a dad,
pretty cool. So you went to see Pantera with your dad.
I did go see Pantera with my dad.
Wow, that's iconic. Like hearing that story of him getting you into the Pantera album, and then 25 something years later, you can go see this version of Pantera. I mean,
right? It's
not the same, but like we still appreciate it because it's what we got, right? So, how was that?
I mean, it was definitely an experience. I mean, obviously, hearing they played a lot of songs off of Vulgar Display of Power. Like like I said, that's kind of where it all stemmed.
Yeah. Did it give you flashbacks of like when you were that kid?
I mean, there were
going through those suitcases.
It's emotional. I mean, I mean, not to sell it short of the experience, but like it was being there with your dad.
What's that like?
Being there with this person who was my father. And it goes back to the beginning of the show. Like yeah, he's my dad, and I'm sure he knows the role that he played in my life very much. But like,
oh yeah, no, your dad. Obsessed with you, bro.
I don't think he really understands how pivotal,
really,
that exchange,
yeah,
of me being a Snoopy kid, finding this music, and him not getting mad, him not taking it away, him saying like, you like that? Here you go. You want to play guitar? Here you go. It was never like, don't do that. I don't think that's a good idea. You think about it. It was never like that.
Yeah.
It was like, is this what you want to do? You sure? Okay. Just be smart about it.
As long as I've known you and your parents, they're like my mom and dad now, but they truly are your number one fans.
Oh yeah,
they love you so much. They never had another kid.
Yeah, well, they give it all to me. Yeah,
but yeah, he's very supportive of you, and it's amazing.
I mean, they.
So you're saying he doesn't realize how important going to see Pantera with him was,
right?
You never told him?
No.
What the fuck? He's gonna find out on this
time and place.
This is the time and place.
If he's listened this long into the show, it's a surprise.
He will. And you know he will.
So it's just, little things.
That's very
little
emotional.
Things, little experiences.
We're getting a little teary-eyed on the Ender podcast, man.
Speaking of, maybe I should open a beer.
Oh, fuck yeah,
just
dude.
so we could Get a little bit more intimate. If you
Fuck
want.
yeah. I actually got to go to the restroom.
What am I gonna do while
You're
you're gone?
gonna fucking talk to these guys. You can shout our nice merch box light.
Phantom Labs 3D.
You don't have to read it verbatim.
Verbatim. So we got this fancy light.
Masturbate them.
The masturbatum. This is entertainment, by the way. Entertainment. We got this fancy Ender light for our last show. I'm gonna crack this open, by the way. And this thing illuminates the entire merch table, which is pretty cool. And that's not the only thing it does. You actually put your phone up to this, and it could send you to the website. It sends you to our website, where what's going on in the bathroom? Making noises. What? I'm trying to sell the light box. This guy. All right, now I'm all messed up. Now I can't promote the light box. Sorry, Phantom Labs 3D. Let's try. You want to try it again? I'll try this beer first. Oh, this is definitely an IPA. Yep. IPA for sure. He left me alone, Shauna.
He's gonna edit this out, right?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. Because this isn't not entertainment of Sal just drinking beer on the camera.
I was drinking.
Oh my goodness. You have anything to say?
No.
All right.
I don't know how to
Huh?
talk. You're gonna edit that out, right?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
None shit's getting edited out.
Everything stays in.
Oh man. Well,
Welcome.
a lot of things
Welcome.
happen on the Ender podcast.
Welcome back.
Anyway, I drank this, fucking La Trenta size.
That's what they call it.
It literally is a Trenta
30.
30. Fucking Starbucks and then water, and now I gotta drink this beer.
Don't gotta.
Anyway,
I'll
while I
drink.
am. So yeah, I mean, I love your dad, man. He's like a dad to me, honestly, and
I mean,
the fact that you guys had to have that moment,
yeah.
fucking sucks that he doesn't know.
He'll know. He'll know.
That show was like a year ago,
Yeah.
and you saw Metallica that day.
I did not. I left.
You left for Metallica.
I was only there for Pantera.
That's a fan right there,
That's
paying
all I
that
have with Pantera.
$100 and something ticket for just Pantera.
Well, my mom bought it.
Fuck yeah, we love mom. We love mom.
I mean, it's not. I saw Pantera once before
When they were Pantera.
when they were Pantera.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So how can you compare Pantera then to Pantera now?
Oh,
You could tell the difference.
yes.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
I mean, at the time, obviously, I didn't think this was the last time I was going to see this version of Pantera.
Right.
Like, I thought the Pantera was going to be forever.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not the case.
When you die, you can't.
When you
Obviously,
die, you die,
It sucks. Yeah.
But no discredit to Zach Wilde. He's definitely a great guitar player in his own right.
Well, even before they did this, we always said that would be the guy.
That would be they would be
Right?
definitely would be the case when
Yeah.
when Vinny hadn't died yet, and if anything would have happened, I think
Yeah.
Zach Wilde would have been the guy. But like I said, no discredit to him, but like obviously it's night and day. Phil is night and day. Phil is definitely cleaned up. He's more. Obviously he can't move as much as he used to.
Well, he doesn't have to.
But he doesn't have to. Exactly.
Yeah, it's Pantera.
It's
Come on.
Pantera, and you know what you're going to hear, and you don't got to do much.
Yeah.
Obviously the energy of it.
Was he wearing that Ender shirt we gave him
No,
at Monster
he probably
Mania?
used it to wipe his ass, and he got rid of it.
Ender.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
No, I mean the only thing that really changed of it was the energy.
Yeah.
Obviously they were younger. Phil was much younger. He was very much more in the hot seat at the time. Like if you watch any type of Pantera documentary, he says like, oh, we were made to be out this huge band. I had to perform. My back was in shambles. I still had to go out.
Wow.
And I had to perform. That was my job, and that's what you do. At that time, that's really the only thing. Music was obviously on point. There's not much was changed. It's
If you close your eyes, it's Pantera. Or can you audibly hear a difference?
As a guitar player, yes,
You can.
because
Okay.
as a guitar player, yes, because I recognize because he doesn't play through Randalls. He doesn't play through crank amps.
Right.
Zach Wild. I don't know. I think he uses Marshalls. I think that's his amp of choice. So yeah, you could tell the difference in tone, I guess you could say. But other than that, still same experience.
Damn.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about covering a Pantera song that we've been talking about doing?
I'm excited for it. I just gotta
Yeah.
work.
So what made you choose Suicide Note Part 2 as our song choice to cover by Pantera, as opposed to Walk or something more popular?
I mean, to do Walk, you have to do Walk. I feel you have to do it right. You have to serve it justice, just as you try to do with any type of cover song of a band of that magnitude. You want it to be good. You want it to be spot on. You want it to sound good. I don't think where we are now as a band, any other Pantera song really resonates to us, except the Suicide Note Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one other one, maybe Becoming. That's only because of the use of the whammy pedal. And the end breakdown of Suicide Note is, I think we could really do some damage when we play that or record it. So it's got elements of what we do as a band in it.
And I never realized that because I'm not as big as a Pantera fan as you are.
Right.
So when I brought the idea to the band, you and the band, I was like, we should do a Pantera cover. And I was obviously like, let's do Walk, let's do whatever, popular. And you're like, let's do Suicide Note Part 2. And I was like, I never even heard that song. Went home that night, and I listened to it here in my studio. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, man.
This song sounds like it inspired Ender. All those elements that you just mentioned, it has those Ender elements, which obviously we take because we're so inspired by Pantera.
Right.
So I was like, this is the perfect choice. And I learned it that night. I already had the drums tracked. But yeah, I'm so excited to cover that song because it really, I think you're right. We can actually do some magic on that cover.
Yeah.
And we're not even known for covering songs. So it's also a new route for us to take.
Yeah.
But now that we have our own setups at home and stuff, it's so much easier to bust these songs out and just flat out have fun being a band and creating things together.
I mean, that's what changed everything dramatically.
Yeah.
As far as technology and where we are now, you always had to get together and you had to rent a space.
And we still want to do that, but
Right.
it's a lot harder to get. Like you said earlier, we're older now. We have all these lives, and we're all busy, so it's harder to get in the same room. I think maybe before we played Debonair last year, the last time we were all in the same room was probably a wedding.
Yeah.
Your wedding, I think it was. All 5 of us. Yeah, and it's hard.
Very hard.
It's hard, and it's something we had to adjust, and some of us are probably still adjusting to that. But yeah, doing some cover songs of songs that inspired us as a band, I think is a great idea.
Oh, I think so too. I think not just one. I think we should have more.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, but
I'm down.
we'll see what happens.
I'm down, man. So what do you want to do on this podcast? Like, this has been fun. This has been like a long time. Like,
How long have we actually been on right now?
oh, we are hour and a half.
God damn, son.
I told you, dude, this goes fast. You get into it, and man, I'm so stoked that we're doing this.
So am I. I think
This is great.
if we really get a good grasp on what we're gonna make it about,
Yeah.
we could do some really cool things. Like I totally dig the idea of like bringing people from the past in
Oh yeah.
and talking about experiences like Vic and Mushroom
Yeah.
and people that we've associated with, especially in other bands.
And there's so much to build up to current times.
Right. Like,
And we're gonna try our best to, keep it on a good timeline. But
right.
man, oh man, like there's just so much we could talk about, and I think it's great.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy to reminisce.
Yeah.
To sit here and to just think back, and who knows what will come out.
You never know.
Who knows what's gonna be said at this table.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to cut it short because we don't want to spoil all the good shit. We have so much good shit to bullshit about.
Yeah.
Man, oh, man. Good times. Good beers. Had a great piss. So, all right, that's it. Bye.
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 No, I'm just kidding. You can follow us. You can follow Sal Trenta everywhere. You can follow Ender Metal NJ, Ender Podcast. This is all very new to us, so we're so excited to bring this new adventure of our band, and we got some new music that we gotta finish up, and
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger.
got some shows this year. This is the most shows
We're a real band.
that we have played in a long time.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's unannounced. We got New York City coming up June 7th.
It's crazy to think about.
We haven't played New York City, I think I said, in like 7 years. And New York City's always been good to us.
I mean, the bands we're playing with are good, so.
Excited. I mean, we're all about playing with our homies and our friends, right?
Right.
So, Bloodthrone. Shout out Bloodthrone. We got Tim who's within the Ruins. And we got Josh from The Machinist.
Right.
And that's been the theme of Ender playing shows is like, well, who's playing? Is it our friends? Like, we are trying to have a good time,
Yeah.
play with our boys, make some new boys and girls, because you're seeing a lot of females coming up in music, which I love seeing. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I like the atmosphere better now.
Yeah.
Like it's not so cutthroat as it used to be, you know?
Yeah, that's also another episode in its own
That's
right.
right.
Crazy. But I want to thank you guys for sticking around. All right, that's it. Bye.
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 I feel so